good Friday evening, or perhaps it's Saturday morning where you are, or it could be Friday afternoon. We are now well into October, and what I'm hearing from a lot of you is a lot of you are in faith, but I'm hearing that probably an equal majority or an equal fraction of you are not in faith at this time. And since I know firsthand what it's like to be in separation and to sort of have your emotions go wild and your mind run wild with possibilities of what's actually going on, why aren't they responding, why are they still with a karmic partner, all I hear, I've had people say, well, all the readings say they're leaving the karmic partner, or they're doing this or they're doing that, and I'm not seeing that yet. So I want to reiterate, first of all, for those of you who are in communication, that's phenomenal. And your union is taking just a different path than those of us who are not in communication. It's not better or worse. We're not comparing. It'd be like comparing apples to oranges. There's just different paths to union. Some of us have chosen to do some time in separation. Some of us have chosen to do, the work together. And some of us have chosen to do some of it together, some of it separate. So I want to just make clear that there's no comparison, and that it will hurt you, right? Comparison is sort of it's what the ego does to try to get a one-up or to try to understand or make sense of something. And it's not going to do any good in these types of soul connections. We have to remember that we connect from the soul first. And I also want to reiterate to you guys before we go into the cards here, which I'm really excited to do, is that this connection first and foremost is about you. Okay, it's about you, your soul, your path in this lifetime, what lights you up, what brings you joy, what fulfills you, what is abundant, what does abundance mean for you? What does that look like? What does vitality look like for you? It's about finding comfort in your own skin. It's about understanding that you could do this on your own if you needed to, but you don't want to. So it's not about needing. It's about, I want my divine connection and partner, and I would love to have them in my life, but I don't need them. And from that place of detachment, which is a healthy place of detachment, it's not a fuck you detachment. It's a place where you can still hold space, but also still move on with your life and allow them to catch up when they're ready. It takes a lot of discernment, it takes a lot of power, it takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of faith, and it's not always easy. So this reading in particular is going to be for those of you who sort of feel like you're out of faith. I want to check in with a couple things. So I'm using the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and these are two of my brand new decks, and we're also using the Angel Wisdom Tarot. And by the way, guys, I don't know who sent the cards, and you don't have to announce on here. You can just email me privately. But somebody sent me a few decks of cards back on September 8th, and I have not received them. So I just wanted to let you know that Amazon doesn't tell me who the name of the person is. So I don't know if they were supposed to have been received because it's been over a month, or I'm not sure. So contact me if that was you and let me know, because I just wanted to make sure that you didn't think that I received them and then just didn't say anything. I haven't yet received them. So first of all, thank you. And second of all, just let me know so we can figure out what's going on. And okay, so let's get started, guys. I'm sending you a lot of love and power, faith, patience, acceptance, all of those good things, humility on this journey. And we're going to get started with the Angel Wisdom Tarot. I just did a reading for myself to check in with my connection, and for one of my divine feminines, one of my soul sisters who's going on my birthday trip with me later this month, and can't believe it's already this month. And there's some really powerful energy, so I was really guided to do another reading, a second reading, an additional reading for you guys, but particularly for those who are in separation. And of course, even if you're not, you can still watch. Of course, this is not, again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Okay, let's give it one more good shuffle and go ahead and bless the reading. Archangel Michael, please come in, create a sphere of protection around this room, around these cards, around this reading, around myself, and around anyone watching. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, Spirit, we're asking about the energies of the masculine. So let's get 2 cards, please, for overall overarching energies for these twins that are in no communication, separation, overarching energies, please. Those 2 really wanted to come out. Ten of Cups and Knight of Cups. So the 3D, all is not what it seems, okay? There's a lot of deception going on in these connections. There's a ton of deception. I'm actually going to do a little shift here. It's a little awkward to try to shuffle over the, wow, these are heavy. Okay, there we go. It was a little awkward to try to shuffle over these. Okay, so let me place these here. Now, Knight of Cups. Now, this can be someone who's flirtatious, but sometimes a little like fickle, not always committed, so to speak. But this is somebody who's coming in fast and furious with a lot of romance. So what I'm seeing is these are two sort of opposing energies, little sort of, I don't want to say polarity. They're both Cups cards. They're both about the heart and the emotions. But what I'm seeing here is the Ten of Cups is about commitment. This is about a family. This is about having something solid. It's a foundation. Whereas the Knight of Cups is more about sort of flirting and romance and poetry and all those things that we want, but it doesn't indicate stability or a foundation. It doesn't indicate, it's sort of someone who may come in and out. So what I'm gathering from these cards, guys, is that the masculines don't want to come in as this person anymore. They're tired. They're even tired of it themselves. So if they're still in this energy where they're non-committal or they're just unable to give you what you need or deserve, they're not going to be coming forward at this time. Like Knights always indicate charging forward, but they're not going to be doing that because what they want to show you and offer you is something much more tangible. This is very sort of intangible energy. I remember I dated someone who ironically has the same last name as me. And we were off and on. We were never committed, but we were off and on for about 4 or 5 years. And there was a lot of passion and a lot of attraction. A lot. A definite past lifetime soulmate. Definite soulmate. We had karma together. I would have dreams about him after he moved away. And I would have these incredible, crazy dreams about just us and our connection, but I don't think he ever realized it in the 3D. So it was really heartbreaking for me. And, you know, and I still love him. I still have love for him and, you know, as a soulmate. But anyway, so he was this kind of a person, okay? He would rush in when things were sort of convenient for him or things were good for him. He had a lot going on, a lot of turbulence and chaos. He was recovering from an addiction. And, but I was always so drawn to him. I mean, this is sort of that knight in shining armor who comes in. This is the one who makes promises he can't keep. This is the one who is just not solid, but so attractive, so handsome, so charming. So when you're unhealed, that is really attractive to you. When you're healed, you could say, oh yeah, you're really sexy, you're really handsome, this all sounds great, but that's not what I'm looking for. So that unhealed version of me attracted this unhealed version of him. And it's funny because I have a feeling that the healed versions of us probably would be like brother and sister, and I don't think we'd be that attracted to each other. So let me know in the comments below if you can relate to that, you know, that kind of an energy of relationship, because that just came to mind as like he's embodying that Knight of Cups energy, or he used to. I haven't talked to him in years. And the Ten of Cups energy is what the feminine desires, okay? This is what we truly want. This is what we deserve. This is what we are waiting for, quote unquote, waiting for. Don't take waiting for literally. You guys know me by now, and if you're new to the channel, you'll understand. You'll soon come to understand that waiting does not mean doing nothing, and it means moving your life forward, but holding space for that person. So we're holding out for this. We, the divine feminine, will hold out and wait for what he or she deserves. So the masculines are really saying, I don't want to give you that sort of non-committal, fickle energy anymore. I'm going to wait and come in when I can give you everything. And that's going to make them feel really good as well. Okay. I'm going to actually put these back because I was just sort of mindlessly shuffling. So the next question I'm going to ask the cards is... what would our masculines like to say to us if they could? Oh, guys, I don't know if you saw that, but they have a ton to say, okay? The Hierophant, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the Hierophant, okay? The masculines are saying, I regard you as this wise counselor, as this wise person, like a deity. They kind of regard the feminine like a god or a goddess, and deity I just heard. Unity with a spiritually minded community. Ask the divine for help and trust the answers will come. Compare traditional methods with new ideas to see which is best for you. Okay, so this is very much the energy of the masculine seeking a higher perspective, and the masculine learning to go within instead of relying on external sources of, I don't want to say affirmation, but external sources to prove to them of what they feel. Does that make sense? So instead of the masculines asking, well, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? Okay, I'm getting a couple things here. Okay, Spirit says it actually could be a wise counselor. It could be a lawyer they're consulting with. It could be a friend. It could be a clergy person if they're religious. So they could very well be consulting somebody and really telling them the whole true story and finally admitting to them, I have someone that I'm in love with, and it's not, my husband or wife, and or whatever, what have you. And it's not my partner, and it's somebody else. And, so they may be seeking information, but they're being very discerning, and they're only doing this if that person can be non-judgmental. So if they feel any sort of judgment, they're going to refrain because they're protecting your connection, and they're not going to just tell anyone and everyone about your connection. They're not doing that. They're really protecting the energy. They understand that it's sacred, and they don't want anyone else's energy in your connection. They're very territorial that way. So the Queen of Pentacles, what they would say to the feminine is, I see you as so stable. I want to give you this solid, stable foundation. I want to open my heart, pour out my heart to you, and be vulnerable with you, and share this life with you, and share these experiences with you. And they say, but I see you it's almost like the masculine says, I see you as someone who doesn't need me. And that's the truth, right? A healed feminine doesn't need the masculine, but she wants him. This is a love of family and home, right? This is the masculine saying, they're a little intimidated still because they see the feminine succeeding. They see her accelerating her growth. They see her helping and assisting others. And I feel like the masculines are like, I don't know. It's not that they need to compete with that. They don't know what they can offer you that you aren't already giving yourself. This is a very solid woman who knows what she wants and knows who she is. The feminine has healed so many wounds this year. And not only that, but we've healed our bloodlines, okay? So we've done this healing for generations of our family, generations of our ancestors. And we brought upon healing to our bloodline. And so if you've been doing that, which we all have been doing that, if you're a true divine feminine, you will be feeling the changes happening within your family members, your parents, your siblings, your friends, the people around you, because they have no choice. Either if they're going to be around you, they either have to level up, or there's going to be so much friction, they're not going to be able to be around you. So in essence, by you healing, you heal everyone around you. And the masculines are like, holy shit, they know that they'll have to get their act together. They know they have to deliver this. They know they can't just come like this. They have to come correct, like I always say. And they know that if they're not healed enough, they don't have to be 100% healed, but if they're not healed enough, they know that you're not gonna stand for that bullshit. And so they just know on a very deep level. I just heard we know. And no more coming as a page, no more coming as an immature energy that just wants to sweep the feminine off her feet and then run away again. The feminines are they're tired of that. And in fact, for the feminines, that's boring. Okay, the feminine says that's boring. That's no longer enticing in any way, shape, or form. I no longer am going to tolerate that. I'm no longer at all attracted to that. So it actually is a turnoff now for the feminines. And then we see the Page of Cups energy, which this is usually indicates a younger female or a younger male, typically could be either or. And this indicates that there's a message. There's going to be an emotional message that the masculines want to send. Because it's a page and not a knight or queen or king, it could be short and sweet, but because it's a cup card, that water energy, the emotional energy, that indicates that the masculines are going to say something heartfelt. It may not be a full-on commitment. It probably, honestly, I'm going to be honest, it won't. But for many, it's not going to be. So, I see those readings where they say, marriage is coming. What? I mean, for who? So those readings, I feel like, are just sort of clickbait. It's almost like, well, let me say this because this is what they want to hear. But I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to know and what's going to advance your inner union, what's going to advance you on your journey, and what's going to assist you and enlighten you, empower you telling you that you're going to be engaged or get married tomorrow to your masculine is going to actually, it's going to create an obstacle within your own growth. We don't need to be focused on that. We need to be focused on creating a life that we love, so then we can invite our masculines in from a place of strength, a place of power, a place of balance, and a foundation. So I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. Now, if I truly believed that that was happening, you will see me do a video about that. If that's truly what I feel, but it's just not what's coming up yet. Doesn't mean never. It just means that we're not there yet. How many twins do you know that are married or in union? Maybe a handful? Maybe? I don't actually think most twins are in union yet. I didn't say any. I think there's a handful, but I think the majority of people that think they're in union, and union doesn't mean they called me, we're in union again, we're communicating again. That's not union, that's communication. It's very different. Union is an energy where you are committed to that person, and there's no in and out energy. There's no hot and cold. Doesn't mean you're fully healed. You could still do parts of your healing together. Absolutely. We're always healing. We're always growing. We're always evolving. But union does not, unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I think people think they're in union when they're working on union. You're working towards it, but most people aren't there yet. Okay. There's, I think, a handful of twin flame couples who are leading the way. We know one of them. It's George and Liz. Okay, guided by angels, and her twin, Liz, Blue Ice Tarot. I'm sorry, her twin, Liz. Her twin, George, Blue Ice Tarot. Okay, so there's a handful of them, and they're trailblazers, and they're leading the way for the rest of us. But I think a lot of people that think they are twin flames are actually not twin flames, and are spreading a lot of misinformation and causing people to sort of get their hopes up and it takes the focus off of your own energy. So anyway, I digress. So let's go back to the Page of Cups. So this does tell me that the masculines are having heightened experiences, heightened intuition regarding the feminines, regarding the connection, regarding what they need to do. So their next moves in their own lives and how they will come forward. How do I create this 10 of Cups? There's a lot of cups energy here, okay? We have the Knight of Cups, we have the 10 of Cups, and we have the Page of Cups. So a lot of emotions are resurfacing, there's a resurgence of the emotions. So, expect some sort of communication, whether 5D or 3D, and expect the masculine to come in with an offer or a small declaration, a small gift or a small declaration of their commitment, but maybe not in the way you think. So be open to the way in which you'll receive this, because it may appear very childlike or innocent. You may brush it off and say, oh, that didn't mean anything, but it actually took a lot for your masculine to send that and to write that, and it actually does mean a lot. I'm hearing for some of you, especially because the holidays are coming up, the masculines may come forward, with just as the year wraps up and the holidays approach, the masculines very well may come forward with some offers, okay, with some sort of communication that will look different, and some sort of you may sort of bump into, will randomly, if you live close to your masculine, will randomly bump into them when you're out shopping around the holidays. So let me know. Obviously, we're, a month and a half away from Thanksgiving here in the States, and then we've got the holidays in December, of course. And so I think that Hanukkah, Christmas, etc. So I think that the masculines are going to be coming out of their hiding places here towards the holidays, because they're going to be spending it. If they have karmic partners, they're going to be spending it with the karmic partners, family, etc. But there's going to be an emptiness and loneliness that they've been feeling for a long time, but it's going to become very palpable. They're going to be able to taste it, to smell it, to feel it in a way in which they haven't been able to before, around the holidays in particular, is what Spirit is telling me now. And that's going to cause them to miss you like crazy. Like the pull is going to be undeniable at that point. And they're going to realize there's something missing. They're going to be like, what is missing? Like, feels like someone's missing. And then all of a sudden they're going to go, it's her or it's him. And they're going to realize that that person, that one thing missing, is actually their counterpart. And that the person they want to be spending the holidays with is you. The person they want to be sitting there with, unwrapping presents with, and, sipping, hot cocoa around the tree with, or if you don't, if you celebrate Hanukkah, the opening the gifts for Hanukkah and doing the Hanukkah traditions, they want that to be you. They don't want it to be this person. So they're going to be looking at this karmic partner as if this person is a stranger, because at this point in the year, at this point in the journey and in the game, that person is a stranger. They never actually knew the masculine, because the masculine was never actually authentic with them. The only person they've been authentic with as a partner is the divine feminine, or really as a friend or anyone, is you. The only person who truly knows them is you. So they're going to be really feeling the effects of the masks that they've worn for so long, the deception, the self-betrayal and self-deception. And they're going to feel this deep, deep, like churning and desire coming from their solar plexus. And that's the self-worth that they've healed this year. And they're going to be able to come forward. They're going to be able to push out of any fears and insecurities and come forward to the feminine and say, I miss you. I mean, it's going to be a declaration of, I miss you. It's going to be a declaration of their feelings in some way, because they're going to be sitting here, thinking about the feminine while they're supposed to be enjoying dinner with their family. Okay. They're giving me like the masculine's going to have a far off look when they're doing family traditions, and people are going to notice. People are going to ask them, what's going on? Why do you seem sad? Or, like somebody might even ask them, who are you thinking about? I mean, what's on your mind? Like, what's going on? And someone's going to pull them aside, a friend or a family member. Someone's going to peg them. Someone's going to say, what is actually going on? Because this isn't like you. And I think that they're just going to be, it's kind of like when you have someone that commits a crime and they hold it in, and then eventually they just burst with the truth. That's how it's going to be for the masculines. And I'm sorry to use that analogy, but it's the first thing that came to my mind is they're going to, be like, oh, everything's fine, I didn't do it. And then it's just going to come out of them, and they're going to say, okay, I have to tell someone, like I've been dying to tell someone, and they're going to tell that person about you. And that's going to be the beginning of the end. Okay, the Emperor just flipped over. Wow. Okay, so what's going on in the masculine's worlds? Balance and the Emperor. Bringing in balance. I'm going to put these actually here. Bringing in balance to become the Emperor. Emperor is, logic. Yes. Emperor is organization. Emperor is leadership. Okay. It's a strong masculine energy. But it's taking charge of a situation. Okay. And him disciplining himself, or her disciplining herself to become that stable foundation in their own life, so they can be the stable foundation for you. So they can understand, who the hell am I? Like, who am I? Because until they can understand who they are and appreciate and love who they are, or like who they are even, how can you expect them to come forward to you with anything? I mean, if you don't like who you are, you can't give anything to anyone else. So interesting, we have the 10 of Cups. 10s always indicate completions. So we have a completion here, somebody leaving the family home, walking out the door. Suitcases packed. Remember when I said, this is so freaking awesome. You remember when I said, guys, maybe a month or two ago, that I had this image of the masculines walking out with a suitcase, okay, in their hands, and a coat. That's exactly what we're seeing here, a suitcase and a coat. And I see the swords here. This is, let me just double check that this is... Oh, this isn't 10 of Cups. My apologies. I'm still learning this set. This is the 10, not the Pentacles, 10 of Swords. Duh, the swords are right there, of course. It was blue, so I automatically thought Cups. The 10 of Swords. So they've been stabbed in the back, and they're ready to leave that situation where they felt like somebody used them, somebody betrayed them, somebody took advantage of them. And they're understanding this, and they've taken the swords out of their back, okay? And they're going to feel likely sadness and relief. They're going to feel both. But there's going to be the end of an addiction, and that's the addiction to codependency, the addiction to feeling like they need to be needed by this person. Whatever threats this person has made to them, okay, this is an end to that. The masculine saying, I don't care. I don't care about your empty threats. I'm done. And again, removing the swords, leaving the swords, right? Saying, you can take these. I don't want these. You can have these, though. Enjoy them. And fearlessly, not looking back. There is no looking over his shoulder or her looking over his shoulder. They're done. This is done. I mean, sealed. Case sealed. I am finally done. So really, really a powerful card. I really love seeing that because that says the masculines are in their power. So that's what's going on in their 3D world. Balance being brought in. And as the balance, right, is being brought in, justice can be brought in. Where's my balance card? Balance. So we have judgment. So there's this sense of being able to finally understand that work isn't everything, okay? That achieving things, right? Being out there in the world, improving yourself isn't bringing them fulfillment anymore. Wanting a quieter life, wanting a life of less recognition, believe it or not, and wanting a life where they can balance out their emotional needs with their physical needs, and finally understanding what that actually looks like and what that means. Because in the past, they were just married to success. Masculines are stepping away from that and have stepped away from that. And I believe that's Archangel, what is it? Not Azrael, Zadkiel? I think that's Zadkiel off the top of my head. Okay, so what's coming up for December with the twins? Energy that's coming up by December for the twins that are in separation, no communication. What's coming up for the twins by December? And again, if you're not in separation and you're still watching, this can definitely still apply to you. I just wanted to sort of do a reading here for those that are not in communication and have, lost some hope along the way. Okay, we have 5 of Cups, focusing on the negative. Yeah. Crying over spilled milk. And this is about forgiveness of yourself and others and not seeing things clearly. So only being able to see, again, the 2 full cups behind him that somebody is offering him. And he's like, no, I just want to sit here and be sad and feel sorry for myself and be pissed off. And I just want to sit here and look at everything that's broken. So you're both being asked, this is about the negativity. This is about the fear and insecurities that I was talking about for this group of feminines. Not being able to see what's on the other side of this fear. Not being able to see what's on the other side of this non-communication. Not being able to see what's on the other side of your masculine healing. Of the healing that they've been doing behind the scenes without even telling you. Not being able to see that things are actually looking up and things are going to shift and change very soon for you in your connection. Focusing on the negative, focusing on not what isn't working instead of what is working, and choosing to feel sorry for yourself. We always have a choice, right? We have a choice as to how we react to life, how we respond, and if we're going to lash out. If we choose to be angry, we choose to be sad. It doesn't always feel like that, but it is a choice, and it's one that we can shift and change at any time. Emotions are fleeting. Emotions pass through us. No emotion is permanent, as my favorite yogi used to say. My favorite teacher used to say, no emotion is permanent. And I was like, wow, that was so simple, but so profound. And it helped, I know it helped him. He was going through something really challenging at the time, and it helped all of us. It helped me really get an understanding and grasp that, yeah, no emotion is permanent, that things shift, things change all the time. Awakening. Yeah, this is the Hanged Man. But we think of this as, that sort of sacred pause. But the sacred pause is beautiful. It's the chrysalis stage with the butterfly. And it's happening for the butterfly to awaken to her freedom, to her wings, to her power. It's about transformation. It's about seeing things from a different perspective. Getting out of this energy. Where are you? Where are you? Getting out of this 5 of Cups energy and realizing that, oh, wait a minute, my masculine has been awakening. And they're going to come to you and they're going to tell you things, and you're going to be blown away by what they tell you. I hear this every day in my emails, or at least every other day. Several times a week, I hear this from people saying, you wouldn't believe what my masculine said. Or you read it in the comments, guys. They came forward and they told me this, they told me that. This is separated for a year. This is why they did what they did. This is blah, blah, blah. So they're coming forward with answers, okay? They need to go through this stage to get to the other side. 10 of Pentacles, guys, one of my favorite cards. It indicates emotional security, financial security, stability, abundance, joy, success in all areas of life, and happiness. There's joy, there's happiness. There's not much to worry about here. There's a time to relax. Okay, there's a time to enjoy your life, to enjoy the seeds that have been planted, the seeds that have not only been planted, but the flowers that have grown out of the seeds that you planted. Okay, things are blooming now with the Ten of Pentacles. So this is what's coming up, the energies that are coming up for December. So be mindful, guys, of staying in that energy of fear. Be mindful of staying in the energy of lack. Understand that, where are you? Understand that there's a transformation happening, that there's a sacred pause for a reason in these particular connections, and understand that it's leading you towards, guys, we have the Ten of Cups in this reading and the Ten of Pentacles. Emotional fulfillment, emotional security, and financial security, material wealth, material abundance, security. Those are the best of both worlds, right? Because the Ten of Swords, okay, if you take the equivalent, Ten of Swords is a different, we had that as well, but it's a different meaning. But let's say the equivalent of the Ten of Cups. Let's say, oh, never mind. Okay, I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say, but it's not going to come out right. So never mind. Point being that this is, Ten of Pentacles means action. It means oriented in the 3D, okay? Taking action in the 3D, being able to see it with your own two eyes and feel it and not just imagine it in the, not that 5D is imagine it, but not just feel it in the 5D. And the Cups energy is the heart energy. So it's both the head and the heart. It's like logic and emotion and creating that beautiful balance between both. So let's pull a few cards from the Queen of the Moon Oracle to wrap the reading up, my beloveds. And let's ask the cards. What is holding the masculines back? Those who are not in communication, those who are in separation. What is holding the masculines back? Besides the obvious, Spirit. Attraction. Supermoon. Okay, this is, the masculines feel like they lose in 44. The masculines feel like they lose their power. They lose their minds when they're around the feminine, because the feminine is so attractive to them on every level. The feminine is this powerhouse. She's like a magnet for the masculine, and the masculines sort of lose their minds. They don't know what to do. They sort of lose their footing, okay? And they try to get grounded. So they kind of scurry and run away, and they try to get grounded. And many of them have unsuccessfully tried to forget about the feminines, and it only comes back stronger. And they're like, damn it, I can't escape her. I can't escape him. So the masculines are saying, I'm super attracted to you in a way in which I've never felt. It goes way beyond the sexual, way beyond the sensual, way beyond the physical, to the mental, to the emotional, to the spiritual levels. It's every single level. It's everything you could ever desire. And if you're a twin flame, a true twin flame, you know this. It's unlike a soulmate connection. This is your, basically another you walking around in a separate body. It's like, it's so hard to describe unless you feel it, unless you experience it. The masculines are so drawn to the feminine. And so that's part of what's held them back, is they're trying to rein in their feelings. And really all that does, when they suppress or repress like that, it actually makes them physically sick. And then they resort to addictions, right? And so the masculines are definitely having to face the music right now, in terms of trying to, and they have to face the music in terms of why they turn away from their feminine, the real reason. Okay, it's not because they're over her or him. It's not because they don't want to be with you. It's not because any of those things. It's because of them. It's because they lack self-love. They lack self-love. And until they can come to that place of self-love, again, we've talked about this, guys. Until you can come from a place of self-love, you can't offer anyone else anything, because not anything, but you can't offer them you, because you don't know who you are. You are not in a place of fulfillment or self-nourishment. So until they can nourish themselves, until they can truly accept themselves and stop betraying themselves and allow other people to influence their decisions and allow their old belief systems just to be recycled day in and day out, it's like it's holding them back, okay? Now, what is pushing them forward? Power and action. These came out a day or two ago. for the reading that I did, or 3 days ago, a few days ago, regardless, we have, again, the full moon. I have this card, yeah. Ooh, wait a second. 2 full moons. 3 full moons if you count this one, right? The super moon. Well, like a new moon here. But these are, yeah, the full moons, the 2 full moons that we have in this month. I mean, super moons at that. So what do we have here? We have, what is bringing them forward? Well, taking action, right? This is the masculines getting their grounding. I said, what did I say? The feminine makes them lose their grounding, lose their footing. And here they are again, finding their footing, finding their grounding. And as they do that, they can dance and they feel free. Okay, freedom. This is freedom from restraint, self-restraint. They've restrained themselves. They've held themselves back because they're scared of how much they actually love you. They're scared of how much they actually feel for you. Of what do these feelings mean? What does this attraction to this person mean? And they're afraid that if they dive right in, that you're going to sort of swallow them up, right? They have to be so much in their power to meet the energy that you're in. Because at this point, feminines, if someone is not in alignment, if someone is not on your same level, if they're not vibing with your energies, they can't, the relationship can't be sustainable. They would come in, it would fizzle out because why? Because you would overpower them, not because you're trying to manipulate or control them, but because of your energies, because of simply who you are. And then the masculines are finding their power, okay? As they start to love themselves, which is so beautiful to see these 2 things, these 2 cards together. As they start to love themselves more, accept themselves, and stop betraying themselves, and they choose themselves, guess what? They're in their power. And this is like the magician energy where they can create anything. They can create something out of nothing, but they don't have to create something out of nothing because it's not nothing, it's everything. So they can create everything out of everything. And the masculines realize that the power has been in their hands this entire time. Let's get, how can the feminines help the masculines? Growth. Understand that the masculines are going through a period of growth. Remember, Spirit says, remember what it felt like for you to go through your growth. Remember what it felt like for you to gain your footing. Remember what it felt like for you to evolve and for you to really plant your seeds in the 3D and plant your feet and get grounded. Remember what it felt like. There's a lot of grounding earth energy in this card. Remember what that felt like, and don't allow yourself to be don't allow your ego to rule. Understand what the masculines are going through to get to where they need to be to come back to you, right? And just understand them. They just want to be understood right now. We have abundance here. So very earthy energies coming in for the feminines, pentacles energy, right? This has been coming in for a while for the feminines. You're working on your 3D, you're working on getting grounded, you're working on your abundance, right? So understand that the masculines want to come to you from a place of abundance. They don't want to come to you from a place of lack or scarcity, and they don't want to put it on you to make you feel like you have to do something like, oh gosh, I have to. They don't want it to be a sort of you complete me Jerry Maguire moment. They want to come in and say, look what I have to offer you. They're going to get excited about this. They're going to get excited to offer you their love, their cup of love. They're going to get excited to offer you that trip that they always promised, or they're going to bring a birthday gift, or they're going to celebrate the holidays with you for some of you, or they're going to travel to see you, or something. In some way, there's going to be a gift received, and they want to be able to give. They want to be overflowing in abundance. So the masculines are working on their pentacles just as the feminines have been doing. So if they're super quiet, they're working on that stability. They don't want to come to you and say, I don't know who I am. I don't know if I love myself. Sort of like, I'm in self-deprecation mode, but do you want me? You want to hang out? Do you want to talk? And the feminine's going to be repelled by that, whether he or she wants to admit it. Whether you guys want to admit it or not, that's going to repel you, just even energetically. Even if it doesn't on the 3D. They don't want you to feel sorry for them, okay? They want to come from a place of fullness. So that's really powerful, and that's exactly the place we want our masculines to be in, because it's what we have achieved and worked so hard for. So guys, they're working so hard behind the scenes. There's so much growth happening for your masculines in their 3D world. You can't see it yet, I know. Trust me, it's coming. I send you guys so much love. Have an amazing Friday night or Saturday, wherever you are, an amazing weekend. I'll be back with another video likely tomorrow. I send love, I send strength, I send power, and I send fortitude. Carry on, my loves. See you soon.